Good evening, people. Good evening. Oh, I forgot to put the mic on. Oh, well. Yes, I have to keep the device close to my mouth so you can hear. Yes, good evening, good evening. This is Spirit Journey. How you all doing? Today is Friday. Yes, it's Friday night, and I'm feeling all right. Yes, yes, it's Friday, uh, March 31st, 2023. Woo! The last day of this month. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Wow. So, boy, I can't believe this year is going so fast. We got through the first quarter already. Just about. Tomorrow be the beginning of the second quarter. Man, I can't believe it. I can't believe this. Yes, good evening. Yes, I hope you are doing well. Let me know if the audio is okay. So, I had an interesting day. I had an appointment earlier, well, with my dogs, and I think I made the correct decision for the situation, and I would just have to do a follow up with my dog in 6 months and just go from there. Um, Outside of that, uneventful. Got some. Oh, I did my federal tax. I have to do my state tax now. I'll do it tomorrow, maybe. Let's go it out. Well, let me get directly into what I uh, put in the description when I want to talk about. Three things I want to talk about. Hope I remember all three of them. I want to talk about this water bottles, bottled water, I should say, bottled water for babies. I want to talk about Andrew Tate, that kickboxer, and he does YouTube, and he was put in custody for about 4 months. He got out today, I found out, and I want to talk about Trump. So those are the three topics I want to talk about. I'll discuss the first one about the water bottle. That would be quick. Um, this is really interesting, people. I try to drink a lot of water, and one particular day I went to buy bottled water, um, and I meant to get distilled water. So they didn't have any distilled water that day, but I saw they had purified water, and for babies. So I thought, okay, purified water, that should be okay. I've had purified water before, and it's for babies. So I had some. I had most of the water. It's a gallon of water. It was. And when I got something just got my attention with the bottle. Like it had like a little design in front of the bottle. And when I saw, I looked at it closely at the little symbol that they had. And as I looked closer, it said fluoride. I was, what? Fluoride in purified water? For baby, it had a cute little picture of a little, drawing of a baby, smiling and everything. It's all in pretty pink, yeah. But what I didn't notice when I purchased it, that it said fluoride. Why would they put fluoride? Now I did hear that a lot of bottled waters, they do put fluoride in it, I found out. So that's why if I'm going to get bottled water, I want the distilled water. So to avoid any chemicals, at least I assume that if it's distilled water, they didn't put fluoride in it. Okay, that's what I'm hoping. But I bought this purified water, and it's for babies. And upon close examination of this gallon of water for babies, purified water for babies, that it said fluoride. It has fluoride in it, and I felt so stupid. I said, man, I gotta, yeah, because they had it on the front, but it was by where the design was. So I just thought it was like a design, and I didn't see it. Yes, my ability to see fine print is compromised with my current eyes, and I need glasses. And even with glasses, if the print is even that small, I can't even see with glasses. So, yeah, fluoride is not good for you. What do they call it? An excitotoxin or something like that. It it um it does something to your body, and that's what they were giving the people in the concentration camps during World War II. And I don't want anything foreign like that in my body. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about that, about the importance of reading the bottles, even those things that say for babies. Hey, hello, what's that? Hey, I'm doing well. How you doing? Good to see you, Kendrick. Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. Yes, I have some interesting topics. Right now, I'm talking about bottled water that was for babies, but it has fluoride. Why would a baby, an infant, need fluoride? They don't even have any teeth. I just felt so. Oh my goodness. Yes, go to see you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to hear you. Yeah, it's always good to see um, the old timers, as I say it. Good. Yes, yes, it's really good to see you. So yeah, why would a Frederick? Why would they make bottled water for babies and put fluoride if little infants don't have teeth? They don't have teeth. Why would you? Oh, I just noticed that your remark got deleted. Did you mean to delete something? I did not delete anything. Yeah, I just want to let you know. I don't know whether you deleted it um, or not, because I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I didn't delete it if you didn't delete it. Okay. But anyway, why would why would they create bottled water, purified water, and then put fluoride? See, they're trying to dumb us down. They're trying to dumb us down. And I really try to be on top of things, but I'm human, and sometimes it's hard to read these bottles. See, they don't expect you to see it. They put it right next to this design on the bottle, and I, 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 I didn't see it. I honestly didn't see it. I'm really upset about that. Yeah, really upset about that. Let me take off these glasses. It's hard for me to read. It's hard for me to read the comments. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see your message. I wish could get out your live stream to talk. Yeah. Oh well. So yeah, people, be careful about the bottle. Yeah, thank you for the thumbs up. Yes, people, be careful. See, they rely on your emotions of certain products. It's the cute little bottle, it was a gallon of water for babies, um, it'll go cute and everything. and they play on your emotions, and they don't expect you to see that, to really read it, or they hide it within a design, and you just didn't see it, or it's so small print. Be careful about the water bottles, the bottled water that you get in stores. A lot of them have fluoride, so they consider that purified water when it has fluoride in it. Yeah, I felt awful. So eventually I was able to get real distilled water. Yeah, I like the distilled water too, for cleansing, detoxing. You put a little pinch of sea salt, real sea salt, not the processed salt, just a little pinch in it with the distilled water, and it detoxifies. Okay, that's what I use that for. Oh, who's that? Hey, Mavine. Yes, hello, Roses. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That makes my day too. Yeah. This is a special moment. It's a special day because all of you are here. Yes. So yeah, be careful regarding bottled water. Read the bottle very carefully because it could have fluoride, and fluoride um, is something to dumb you down. Okay, that's what they used to use to the prisoners of war during World War II in Germany. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, people, I'm going to talk about two controversial individuals. Um, let's talk about Trump. He's more known, I think. Number 45, our former president. I just learned today, yes, I just learned today that he got indicted. Indicted means like a case went through, the grand jury, and they hear like complaints or certain alleged offenses, and whether it's uh, prosecutable, something like that. Should it go to trial? That's what they want to decide. Uh, is there enough evidence to have to arrest someone and have them go to trial? Okay, so the grand jury said yes, he's going to be indicted. That means an arrest. So, people, what does this mean? Um, for me, how to word this? I am disappointed. I want to be upfront. I am disappointed that he's to be indicted. I feel it's just I think it's a distractant. Why go through all this? It's 8 years now, and I don't trust New York. I live in New York City, and the things here is very corrupt. It's very corrupt, and I had a run-in once with the assistant DA in Manhattan. It's not anything that I did, but I had witnessed something one time. And I have little respect for these people. This event happened, it was way before COVID. It could have been in 2017, 2016. And I was in Central Park by myself. And I saw two men, young men, beating up a woman. And back in those days, I had a cell phone number. I had my cell phone with me, and I dialed 911. I know for me that if I were being beaten up by two men or two anything, I would at least want someone to call the police for help. Yes, Kendrick, I was born and raised in New York. I'm a native New Yorker, native born New Yorker. Yep, born and raised. Was recruited in the military here. I lived till most of my life, but I had an opportunity to live in Hawaii, and I lived in Florida for a little bit, and I lived in the Caribbean, and but I wind up back here. I do love the city, Manhattan in particular. When I say the city, I mean Manhattan, where I live. It's the center of New York City. It's where everything happens. Um, but it's very corrupt and very filthy. And there's no reason for it to be so filthy. They could at least use the people, what they call they use this euphemism called guest workers. They could at least use the guest workers to clean the sidewalks and streets. It is filthy with stuff. It's really bad. And we had rats like you wouldn't believe. In 2021, it was really, it was the worst that I've ever seen. But it's still bad. It's really bad. But yes, I found out Trump had got indicted. Are they actually going to try to enforce it? Are they going to really make a statement to um, his lawyer or something? How are they going to facilitate this? Is he going to leave Florida and then come all the way to New York? I don't think he'll be safe here in New York. He Trump also. He's born and raised in Manhattan. I mean, in New York City. He's from Queens, where I'm from, near where I'm from. And then he had a place in Manhattan, and that wasn't so far from where I live too, walking distance. Yeah. So he's actually a neighbor, so to speak. And I have to be honest, I known of Trump for the past 40 years about, and I was not a fan of his. He all what you see on him on television. That's how he always was. Always. He was very brash. He was, about wealth and everything. And, he was what he was. He was just another rich New Yorker. And so be it. Um, and some of the people that are against him, back in the day, I was told that he financed the Democratic tickets, that he had financed Hillary Clinton and other people, and it's like they stab him in the back. That's how I feel. I feel women. New York was always about let's see how tough you are, right? They want to see how tough you are, and so they never really criticized Trump. He was what he was. He is who he is. And so him being in the media, starting in 2016, it was just a remake of the early 1980s, in my opinion. And then he ran for office, and he really ruffled a lot of feathers. So what the indictment is, if I understood right, they want to make something into a felony. See, if you become a felon, you cannot run for office. And so they took something. Um, he Trump had a lawyer, and the lawyer paid off she's a prostitute who works on movies. She goes and what they call it an adult with an adult actress with adult, someone who does make pornography films, right? She stars in them, and she alleged that the two had a relationship, had an encounter, and so you better give me money or I'll tell. So it was hush up money that the lawyer of Trump gave her, and then alleged that some money, well, alleged, let me just say alleged, and that allegedly Trump gave the lawyer money to reimburse him and gave him a bonus, allegedly. But those things, well, the money wasn't from any what do you call it when you run for office? There was no money from contributions from when you raising money for election. That wasn't the case, and it's not a felony what he allegedly did. There's no real crime, but they're going to create a crime and claim that allegedly certain thing was involved in the matter. So they have to prove that. In a court of law, the court has to prove that that's the case. And you know what else with the grand jury? I was in a grand jury before. These are just like a lot of local people, and they have a so-called witness. Sometimes they show you video of an alleged crime. They would have to have the evidence, and then they showed on a screen so everybody could see it, and they discussed it, and the people, the grand jury could ask questions. But a lot of people in New York are taught to not like certain people. And I feel that, yeah, I think it's how do you say? It's not by accident, people, that the DA that they have is a black person. And I feel that they purposely had that. Now, I don't think there was ever a black DA. So now they're going to put one in because, he's a black man. Oh, he doesn't like bigots, right? Isn't that what they're selling people? Is that what they're selling? Then I had one before. Almost forgot about that. Yeah, I was in a part of a grand jury before. Yeah, I did my time with it. But I remember what I was going to say. Yeah, there was an assistant DA. This event might have happened in 2017 or 2016. I witnessed a crime, and I had a cell phone back in those days. I don't have a cell phone number now. I don't want to get one. But either way, I used to have one, and I called 911 to get the girl help. Yeah, she was badly hurt. And it was the first time I ever witnessed a woman being beaten by two men, young men. And I tell you this, people, when something like that happens and you call, I'm letting you know. So when you're in a position of calling or not calling, to know what you possibly could get yourself involved in. I did not know that they were going to call me. Now, I just, called, hey, I see something. So I didn't give my name. I don't think I did. And but see, when you call, they can do like an automatic redial or something like that and call you back. and someone called me while I was still at the park. I think that's what happened. Well, I was still at the park, and uh, some police officer or detective called. Said, "Oh, we saw that your number popped up about the call regarding blah blah blah," and I didn't have anything to hide, whatever. I said, "Okay, yeah, I did call," and they asked me what I saw, and then they said, "Oh, would you, we may need you to testify." So I said, "Well, what was it all about?" And when they told me what it was about, that they all knew each other, and that someone's cousin didn't like that so and so said such and such, something stupid, and drugs was involved also. I said, I don't want to be involved. So when you say so when I heard that they all knew each other and they just being stupid and something regarding drugs, I did not want to be involved with that. And that to my understanding, when you become a witness to a crime, that they would have to get your full name, address, contact number, and did you know that I think you call them the defendant, the so-called the person on trial, they have access to that, and they can call and harass you and threaten you. So in New York City has a lot of drugs, and I live a clean life, and I don't want anybody knowing where I live to do me bodily harm because I'm a potential witness. And it was a horrible experience. Well, the assistant DA at the time, he was an out-of-towner. He was new in New York City, and I gathered that he wanted to go the fast track to become a famous DA or assistant DA. He wants to move up the ladder at my expense. When I told him, I said, "Why? I had no idea that what was the problem. I really don't feel comfortable with being a witness. I saw someone that looked like they needed help, and so I called, and that was it." He says, "Well, I might need for you to testify, and if you don't go willingly, I will subpoena you." So I said, "Well, what if I don't want to answer the subpoena?" He said, "That would be very bad for you. They could arrest you if you don't respond to a subpoena." And there were other things too. I said, "Look, I suffer from X, Y, and Z, and it's really not good." And he insisted. And it's all I felt for someone to tell him what I told him, and for him to insist, and that he's going to subpoena me and come and get me if I don't show. Yeah, I felt he was being a bully, an arrogant SOB, and I felt he's exploiting. I did my part as a citizen when saw someone in need, and I made the call. I did what I would want someone to at least do for me if I was being beat up or whatever, in some needing an aid, right? To get an ambulance at least, okay? So to make a long story short, with regard to that incident, he said that he won't need me after all, and that I guess maybe one of them decided to maybe plea bargain, whatever, and they said to me that you would never be asked to come regarding this trial. I said, "Oh, great." Yeah, before all that was said, um, I felt physically sick. I had severe anxiety, headache. Yeah, I did a video at that time when it happened. Yeah, it's not people. What trial is not, especially when you're dealing with crazy people, drug dealers, drug addicts, street people, whatever way you want to call them, that you are online. They get access to that information. The lawyer will have to, their lawyer can get access to my information and do things to me. So I'm just letting you people know that the things that you have to consider if you have a family or you're in a situation that people might rely on you. When you are a witness to a crime and they subpoena you, you have to answer that subpoena. And even some people say, look, I plead the Fifth Amendment, that you don't want to say anything to incriminate you or whatever. They could throw you in jail for that. Oh, you're being, what do you call it, defiant to the court. That you have people who abuse their authority. That's what I'm getting at. You have people who abuse their authority and do that to weak people who don't have money for big time lawyers. It's stressful. Even if you had money, it's stressful. And it could ruin your health. And that was for, I don't remember how many weeks this thing was up in the air. Yeah, it wasn't something like a one or 2 day thing. It was for a while. Because the first time something happened, I think they had to cancel it, and then they said, okay, they're going to have it again, and it's, oh, okay, we may not have to go to try anyway, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, something like that had happened, but it put stress on you. So again, going back to Trump now, I'm sure he's under tremendous stress. Again, he has money for lawyers, and he has a lot of friends. What he must be doing, and again, he has a wife. He has a little, a young boy, a teenager now, and they need him. They need him, and the stress that they must be going through. You don't have to love Trump. You don't have to even like him, but about what is fair. You cannot claim that something is a felon when it's not, to create something that is not. What he allegedly did is not a felon. And it's like they're upgrading it. And that same DA that is involved in this particular case with Trump is known for, like, people who actually do felons, that he decreased I don't know the terminology, like let's say someone is convicted of a felon, then he'll decrease it and that make it into a less charge so they can get out. So he's releasing violent criminals out there, out on the street here. And it's like, it's getting really dangerous. I mean, I'm going to be up. I'm going to really say, I know I'm not popular. I know I won't be popular. But I speak my mind. And what I feel, what I sense, what's going on. See, you have people in power. But they don't want to be upfront about it. And what they're doing, it's just my opinion, they use black people, black New Yorkers, especially with regard to when you want to make up something like the racism. Yes, there is racism in New York and all over the world. But some things, how you say, it is an excuse. And I noticed that in New York politics now, they put in black people to do a particular task because the other people don't want to do it. So who gets blamed are black people, black leaders, or to have a black person in there because, number 45 is a racist and a bigot, and it's our duty as black people to convict him because of what he allegedly is. And I think that's the only reason why they have this DA. I've never seen this DA before. Never. Never. So I noticed that. All of a sudden, you're going to have key black people in certain positions, and it's always used, it seems, in my opinion, some so I don't want to say, some liberal cause. And I just feel it's to get a particular thing done because the other people behind the scenes doesn't want to be involved. They don't want their face shown. So they say, okay, let's show this black face. A black man against Trump, okay? It just seems so in your face. And so if it goes wrong, that DA will get the blame. His career will go down and spare the others. That's how I really feel why they're using this particular DA. Trumped up charges. No pun intended with that. But they're trumping up charges. They said about 34 charges. But they did not release what all the charges are about. They're just digging up anything against them. See, what you do, remember, things could ricochet back. Like a boomerang. You shoot out that boomerang, it could come right back and haunt you later on. And it could set a precedence, people, to do this to a former president. Now, are there presidents that should have gotten indicted? Yes, like the Clintons. They should have been indicted. But they're not indicted. And the Clintons got a residency here when they were running, when Hillary wanted to run for office. She had no involvement in New York City politics or anything. And they only got residency so that they could run for office in New York City because they got a lot of liberals and it's a very big Democrat dominated city. And that's the only reason why they came here. They're not involved with people from New York City, nothing. They were never involved in anything. And they exploited people from New York City for their political gain, but did nothing to improve the status of life for people, especially black people, in my opinion. So here you have someone who's a native-born New Yorker like Trump. Yes, he's brash, but that's why they liked him in New York City growing up. Again, I've known of him for about 40 years. He lived near my hometown, and he still lives near my current town when he was in New York City. And no one really had anything bad to really say about him. And you had the rap artists, the black rap artists, that they hung around with each other. Puffy Combs used to hang out with Trump, and then now, he's a racist. So if he's a racist, then why do you like the company of racists? That means you're a racist too, right? It takes one to know one. It takes one to know one. If you hang out with one, you're one too, right? But now he's not popular. Now it's not popular to be his friend, and so now you're using the race card. See, a lot of these rap artists are liars, in my opinion. They only say what they want you to believe for their embellishment. If they really thought he was a bad person, they wouldn't have hung around him. But they liked him. They liked his brashness. Isn't the whole genre, the rap artists or the hip hop culture, about rudeness and brashness? They loved the guy. And so now New York City, in all its brashness, now turned their back on him. They turned their back on him. I feel that they're setting him up, and I just don't think it's totally fair. But also there's something I think there's also another possibility. Um, what's going on? It's almost like a sideshow. Um, I mean, it's like an acting team, and I'm including Trump and his adversaries. It's like they're playing a game, it's like a vaudeville show. Okay, thanks, Nubian. Hey, good to see you. Yeah. Okay. Who were they? Both were executed. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't get that. Okay. Yes. Sometimes when I'm on my pad, I don't see all the comments right away. Um, but I just see Nubian that you were saying they were both. Who was executed? If you could tell, if you could share that, who are you talking about? What two people? Yeah. So I just don't like the hypocrisy in all this. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that, Nubian. Yeah, so I'm just concerned about the hypocrisy, and that to set up a precedent. See, that means in the future that if they could get a former president indicted and make false charges, or get I don't want to say that alphabet agency's name, but they can send any alphabet agency to your home, trumped up charges, right? The same thing could happen to you. And that's my concern. They're using this as like what it looks like to me, I should say, what it looks like to me, that they're going to see how far they can go and see that, hey, the public's not going to say anything because, oh, he's a bigot, or he's a big mouth, or whatever. He might be all those things, but we all have rights, and you don't want your rights taken away. Just don't think of it, oh, well, we just don't like so and so. It's not about liking, it's about people will exert their power and to see how far they can go, because they want to experiment and see that if they can do this to this person, they're going to do it to you with less resistance. Okay, Nubian, okay, Asa, okay. They already do. It's a big deal because Trump and elite billionaire finally faces the justice system. Okay, okay, okay. I sent you the information last year. The whole. Okay, arrest. Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, yeah, and it's okay to share. See, my channel, it's not about censoring anybody. It's open. We all have our experiences, uh, opinions, and yeah, it makes things exciting to be able to share, respectfully, no party words, but it's all about sharing information. I don't know everything, but I'm just sharing from I'm concerned that what's happening, what we see is a sideshow, and it's really about setting the public up for a takeover. That's what I really feel. I feel that the U.S. is being taken over by very powerful individuals, and that they did. I feel that they're doing this. Well, their plan was to take over anyway, but I think uh, why it got more exasperated was because when Trump announced that make what was that about America? What is that now? To buy American, something like that. Buy American or American first, America first, um, and to bring the jobs back to America. That was a no-no, and I feel that the Chinois, I feel that the Chinois didn't like that. And if you look at most of your products that you buy in New York City, where he's from, many of the products are from the Chinois. And they didn't like that because it's going to cut into their money. Um, and so they say, we're going to make war. That's what I feel. That's what started it. Um, and so it's a fight. It is a horrible fight. And I think the C-19, as I call it, the thing that started 3 years ago, um, was a weapon used on the planet to ensure their supremacy, to ensure, because it came out from that particular country, the Chinois. It came out from them. Um, and remember, initially you saw the people in that country, they would be on the ground like they're having a seizure or something, that like a fish out of water. How come in all this uh, pandemic, how come you didn't see anybody do that behavior on the street of New York in seizures and all those weird things like you saw in the Chinois? You didn't see that. So I'm thinking that people were made to become afraid because what they saw on TV. And you can make yourself sick by, if you believe you're sick, you can actually become sick. And a lot of people died out of fear. And people weren't being treated for certain conditions, and so they died. Okay, Nubi said, like DJT said, they got them all. Oh, okay. When the EBS is activated, you will understand what DJT and the real military are doing and why. Okay. I hope you're right. Nubian, I hope you're right. I'm very upset about what I see. I'm afraid. See, I'm afraid of what's going to happen to the general population. And then, there was that thing. Oh, what was that thing now? I was going to talk about that. I actually forgot. Um, that school that got I have to be careful what words I use. That female that allegedly did that, the bang bang, I call it, the bang bang, and three little children and three adults got their demise. Again, my condolences to those victims. Yes. I still watching a movie, but the movie's about to end. Okay, okay. Yeah, so, oh, what was my point of bringing that out now? Oh, a distractant. It's a distractant. And it's interesting that this thing happened right around the time of this indictment. See, I think a lot of things are to be made, to distract you. Oh, what was the other thing? Oh, I can't even remember why I brought that up in its entirety. Um, yeah, I'm afraid for the people. I'm afraid for us. Um, but I guess we stand strong, be walk in awareness, and pray for protection. Oh. So that's my thoughts regarding number 45. You know, um, yeah, that they might see. I also oh yeah, I remember what I was just going to say about number 45. Um, he I'm concerned that if he comes to New York City, they may try to do something to him. There are a lot of crazy people here, and they would need he would need protection. They could get a sniper, right? They can get a sniper and set their cameras up. I mean, they do what they do. They don't want him to run for office, and that's what this is all about too. They don't want him to run for office. People are fed up because of our current administration, and they're doing this on purpose. Our country is going down the tubes and looks like a laughing stock to the world. This is really bad. So it goes to show you, see, they use the race card so much that your whole logic went out the window. Now he is not number 45 is far from perfect, but to know the history of number 46, number 46, his form, the things that he voted for when he was was that, a senator or something like that in the South. But people didn't want to see about his background or look into what his son was doing. Why would you want to vote for somebody like him? What? Why? Why did they want him? The only thing I could get, I mean, I'm not good in politics, you know, but what it seems like that he was doing dealings with the Chinois and getting money. They might have had him blackmailed. Hey, you owe us because we gave you money, and we're gonna out your son if you say or do it. Anything could be possible. But I think number 46 was compromised. I think he was compromised, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. And now his health just seems kind of out of it. Out of it. Yeah, he made mention about the that unfortunate incident with the church school, and that he was making jokes about ice cream. Now that was weird, but you know what? What hit me with that? Someone shared that clip on YouTube, but doesn't it look fake? Like he's not really talking to an audience because you heard people laughing. Why would he? Is this maybe an old footage? But they want you to think it's something that he's currently talking about. Look at the film. You don't see anybody in the audience. No one is asking questions, and the angle of the camera was cutting off part of his head. It was unprofessionally done, and I'm wondering whether someone took footage from some old speech and made it sound like he's being insensitive regarding the thing that happened in that church school. And so the news reporters in New York City were saying things against him. Oh, how insensitive he is, and blah 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 blah. I'm wondering. See, I don't trust the news either. When I learned, I knew someone that used to work. Some of the accounts was at the news studio, and when that person told me that on their desk it's a script, everything they talk about, even the jokes that they say and things like that, it's on the paper for them to say it. It's all a an act, a stage. These people didn't even do research for their news. They're given the news like an actor's given a script, and they say what's on the paper, and that's it. That's it. That's all that those newspapers do. So they're saying all these things now about number 46. And I'm thinking, wow, you're just saying something now, but you never said anything about his son with the laptop and the sensitive material on it. So what's that all about? So it seems like the news people here in New York City, they're not about news, they're about a program. They are programming New Yorkers to think and act a certain way. And I think it's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Yeah. Um, Something's not sitting right with me. And so why is it if my intuition or what it looks like to me is correct, why would they have the current president in front of, on a podium saying something that would be considered insensitive regarding a matter like that incident that happened at the church school? Are they now trying to set him up to remove him from office and put someone else in? That's what I think what they're going to try to do. I think they're going to remove him and put in somebody else to finish the job that they intended to do. Yep, that's what I think, in my honest opinion. Okay, I want to talk about the last subject here. Um, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. I want to talk about him. I just learned of Andrew Tate in January upon his arrest. Andrew Tate is a he has dual citizenship. He was born and the first 10 years of his life raised in the United States. And then his parents separated and eventually got a divorce. So from 10 on, he and his mom and siblings moved to Britain. And then he did what we call kickboxing, and he was a champion doing the kickboxing overseas. Um, and his father also is a world champion, what do you call it, chess player. And he himself did chess too, played chess, and he did very well. So why he's in the news is that, well, he is controversial. He's like his persona is of a he-man, and he got real popular on social media. And I think what really sabotaged him was when he challenged this young woman. And what I learned from that, it was a verbal challenge. He didn't make any threats, um, but he he's now this young woman is only 20 years old, and a couple of years ago, um, she had the podium and she spoke to an audience of people regarding uh, climate change. She seems like she's the poster child for the climate change regime. And with regard to climate change and Andrew Tate, this climate change will eventually affect his ability to have the cars that he has. He has these guzzler cars. He owns a fleet of luxury cars. And he got angry at the fact, of her speech that she had done earlier, and that he doesn't want his cars to be taken away from him. A lot of people would feel that way. If you have cars, guys tend to like cars and fancy ones at that. And um, if you can't ride them anymore because of gasoline, because they want to make it that you can't use gasoline, it has to be electric. So that means his cars would be of no value. So he wrote something on what do you call it, on social media, that he was what do you call it, like tongue in cheek. He said, "Yeah, I own these three cars, and if you give me he's saying, if you give me your email, I can give you a full inventory of all the cars I have." Yes, he's like acting like, "Oh, look at me, I got all this and that," to the girl. So the girl responds in a very hostile way. And then he did a video about it. I think it bothered him what was said. But she used, the lady in question used that opportunity to contact who she contacted. And that's when they arrested him. That's what it was. And I think that he's getting arrested, that he, not arrested, what do you call it? He was held in custody. Um, and the excuse is because this lady allegedly said that she was raped and something else. And so they didn't have any proof, and there must have been other things, but rather than having him in a house arrest, um, they arrested him and three other people, but they couldn't find a charge to give him. So he's been in custody for about 4 months, and there was no charge, and so today um, he was released, and he'll be going in what's called house arrest. So I'm glad that he got out. I'm glad that he got out because, well, again, there are things that he's said that I'm not in favor of. But I learned of him for the first time in January of this year, 2023, and I was curious about his background, to find out where he's from, and just to find out about him in general. And that's when I found his videos and a lot of the things he talks about. I liked his intellectual talk. I don't care about the things of, some things he might say about females. I do not like that. But I saw a lot of videos about uh, about about making money, about wisdom and knowledge and accountability, and I like that. I started to have real respect for him, and he's seen now who's his real friends, and I think I hope he learned about, someone might, a girl might be young, but that doesn't mean that she's not protected, you know. Yes, she's only 20 years old, but she looks really young for her age. And just because she looked young for her age, or be actually young, 20 years old, um, doesn't mean that you can say anything to them because they may be connected, and she's connected with, uh, I believe, some very, very powerful people. And so don't offend some women. You might, some people might be, alpha male, but honey, you mess with the wrong woman and consequences. And I think that's what happened. Um, uh, Andrew Tate did release a statement. Well, he got released from jail and he's to do house arrest. Um, he was very humble. He shared, briefly, they asked him what he was doing in where he was for this time. He said he studied the Quran and he did push-ups. And when he gets out of, you know, detainment, he's going to still study the Quran and do push-ups, so, exercise. And he just seemed to have a humble approach. I think his time in his holding uh, matured him more. At least that's what how I viewed what I saw of his release from the facility. So I would imagine that he's going to become even more popular. And I hope he does more like a spiritual, a do a spiritual twist to everything. I really like the words that he said. You could tell that he seemed very worn out physically, and I think anybody would be worn out in any type of incarceration. But I wish for his safety, um, his health be reconciled, and I hope he demonstrates more wisdom in some of the content that he does. Um, yeah, I was really rooting for him. I know he is controversial. See, I don't have to like everything about a person, but when I sense that there is, like, sometimes, like a diamond could be in poo, surrounding the diamond might be poo poo, but there's a diamond in it. And if you could just somehow kind of clean it up a little bit, extract the diamond from the poo poo, you got yourself a good gift for yourself. And that's how I see him. He's far from perfect. I don't believe it with everything he says, but I like the essential. He talks about accountability and to do what you know is right. And I respect that. Yeah. Yeah, I would have never known about him until this past January when he got put in the holding. What's that? Oh, let me see. Let me move this. Okay, Nugan says this is a Peter symbol. Oh, I don't know what it. Oh, I must have missed something in the conversation there. Okay, I don't know who's a. Okay. Oh well. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to, Nubian. What's the Peter symbol? I must have forgotten what I was saying for you to say that. Yeah. So yeah, I respect a lot of things that he does say. And a lot of people uh, are working on his coattails, making money off of him. Um, it's just very interesting these days how someone could become so popular so soon. He's using the knowledge that he has. He knows about poverty, and I'm impressed that some of the things that he did for him. Again, not everything I agree with him. I didn't agree with the how he made his initial money. Outside of his sports, um, his other means of making income. He had women um, go on what do you call a camcorder, and they have men that buy their time to talk to the ladies, whatever, and the ladies might were to write something of a certain nature. I don't I don't agree with things like that. Um, that's just me. Um, but outside of that, he diversified, and I like the fact that he's knows how to implement changes and everything. Um, he's not afraid to do certain things, and I like that tenacity. And I definitely need a little bit more tenacity in my life for certain things. So I respect the strength in men. I respond. See, in my opinion, a real man doesn't have to say or do certain things. It it's something that's within him. Being a man is not about having a lot of girlfriends. You know, I think a real man could settle down with one woman, and because see, anybody could just say, I'm leaving, I'm leaving. When it gets tough, but for a man to stay and try to work out the situation, that type of man I could have respect for, you know. But yeah, I hope for his protection. I also hope for number 45's protection. And I think all these things are designed, people, to distract you, to get you anxious. Oh yeah, I remember with the thing in the incident that happened at the church school, that an alleged manifesto was generated from that person, who's no longer alive, um, to facilitate some things this April. What do you guys know about this? Have you heard that in April they're planning on some retaliatory events to occur? I hope not. I hope not. Um, but it seems like for me, the April is tends to be a very intense month for me for the past 2 consecutive years. I'm hoping that it's not going to repeat this stress. Um, I wish for everyone's safety. Again, I think a lot of these things are just a smokescreen. They don't want the left hand to know what the right hand is doing. So they'll put up the race card, or that someone got, you know, demised, um, or a celebrity's got a problem. It's just a distracted, in my opinion. And so what I can say, watch your health, people. This April in particular, if you can buy extra food, water at least. Uh, Buy some clean bottled water and some provisions for yourself, just to kind of tie you over in case some things happen. That's what I did a couple of days ago. When I thought he was going to be arrested last week, Tuesday, I went to the store and I bought supplies. So it might be a good idea to get some basic supplies just for your protection, so that if you need it, you use it. Okay? Yeah, so those are the three things that I talked about. I talked about the bottled water for babies, but it has fluoride in it, and I don't know what baby with with just Gumbies is going to need fluoride in their water. Okay, so that is problematic. Number 45s had gotten indicted, and so what is the significance of that? Is it going to happen? And how will his lawyers be able to get him out? And then lastly, I talked about Andrew Tate. He was a kickboxer, and then he got in social media, and it's been a sensation there. Yes, I wish for his safety. Yeah. I can't think of anything else, people, but that's basically what I wanted to talk about. That the news that I recently heard, and I wish we all be safe. Again, I think this is just a distraction that's happening, and they want you to riot or do all the protests, things like that, or even get provoked and hurt somebody. People do not do any violence against any person, any being. Don't do that. Don't get suckered. See, they want you to lash out so they can take away more of your rights. They want to remove all your rights. They want to even remove your rights to have access to your own money. This whole thing is a setup. From the very beginning, from 2016 to now, they're doing implementations to remove your rights. They use the race card. They use, through people getting beat up or killed. They're using the pandemic to keep you locked up at home when they're doing some things outside. I think they were putting up devices. I think they were putting up the 5G equipment. All of a sudden now in New York City, you get dry mouth. Why are we getting dry mouth in New York City? I've been here for 20 years. Why all of a sudden? I think that this 5G is causing certain ailments or triggering violence in New York City. They wanted to try to cause a war, a race war, having this group against that group. Now they're also bringing in the illegals. Oh, let me tell you what I saw with the illegal. Yeah, not far from where I live. There's a hotel that is housing these people. And it was just yesterday, they had 4 school buses for those people. You know how many people, native born or native New Yorkers that are on the street? And now they're catering to these people. But they're not catering to people who need help, U.S. citizens who need help. They're pushing the weed, these stores that sell weed, all over now. We had all these stores in New York City for the past 3 years that went out of business. They went out of business. So how did these weed stores get the money to start a shop? They would have to pay the rent. And all the rent increased in New York City. That's why a lot of them left, because they didn't have money for the new rent. And I think this is a social design. I believe that there are people behind closed doors who come over and they plan it. They go in stages. This is what's going on, in my opinion. So now they're destroying the mind of these people with the drugs, the weed shops. Why is it legal now? Where they want to destroy your mind, they want, they have, I believe that these, where do they get this weed from? Is it genetically modified? Is this weed to make you passive? To make you know who mostly go to these shops? A lot of black men go in there. They go in there, I don't know, they have money for the drugs for whatever reason. That's who you see really going in there. Why is that? And it's by design. You go take the weed and you're just going to be a dope. You're just going to, be a zombie. They're creating zombies in New York City. And then they're bringing in they bust them in, these people from south of the border. They're wearing clean clothes. It's just really weird. People, it's weird. And it's not being bigoted to say the truth. There are things that are being socially engineered. New York City is in trouble. And so what they do, let's bring in a bunch of people, undocumented workers, have them use your resources. You know how many businesses fell out of business? The classrooms are packed with people. So learning, how they're going to learn, the people, the Americans. Now that they share classroom, people who may not speak that language. It's going to hold people back. I'm all for immigration, but you come through the front door and you don't bring in people who can't support themselves. When I was interested in moving, I told you all that I wanted to move overseas legally to a particular country, you have to show that you have money in the bank that's equivalent to at least minimum wage of that country. What else? What do you call it? Like an FBI check, to see if you're a criminal. A written statement, what your goals are in that country. But it's a whole procedure. They don't want anyone with a liability. You have to have money. You have to have skills. So now you're going to bring in somebody who don't have a job, who doesn't have money, who got a lot of little kids. Who's going to take care of them? It costs money. And you have a lot of Americans who lost their jobs this past 3 years. It's sabotage. The current administration is doing this to sabotage you Americans. It's not about them loving poor people. We got poor people already up here, and they're not being loved. And it's all about getting these people in here so that the likelihood that they are going to vote Democrat. And that's all it's about. Or they may try to start a race war with these new people and the poor blacks that are on the street. It is all social engineering. And that is what I have against. I don't have anything against anyone from another place. I have things against social engineering and making something look innocent when I know that it's not. It's not innocent what they're doing. I'm not stupid. I don't like people playing me stupid. And I can read the writing on the wall. I read it, and it's going down. New York City is going down fast. Everywhere I go, I can't even go visit my mother. Because you see a bunch of crazy black people with their pants down. This guy has his jingle bells out. Even some of the black women, they're crazy. Or they go on the bus, they don't even pay on it. It seems like almost every black person that I see, especially when I'm going to visit family in Queens, they're zombies. Where did these zombies come from? Why are they zombies now? I lived in the area, but it's being taken over. The blacks that used to live there, they can't afford to buy the homes there anymore. It's like we're an extinct breed in my own hometown. And the jobs, we're not getting the jobs. We're not. So the guys are just hang outside on the corners. Now they have the pot, to hang around the stores where they have the pot, right? Or some of them deal drugs themselves on the corner. Or they're hiding in the subways to rip you off. And that almost happened to me when I went to go visit my mom. This is my experience. I don't want to have this experience. I want to see black people happy, working, with their pants on. They look groomed. I want to see that. It's like it's like a war, and the girls are acting very aggressive, very. And then they wonder why they can't get a guy. What guy wants an aggressive woman? And it's sad. It's really sad. And the boys are dressing like girls. There's a guy with a young guy like in his 20s, very firm and muscular, but with giant breasts. People, giant breasts that would make any woman jealous. It was a man wearing a tight t-shirt with big boobs, but it was clearly a man. How did that happen? They're doing that. They're getting these things done to them. This is what I speculate. That he's so desperate for money, for whatever habit he has. So, hey, get the breast so he can do a trick on another man. The men are competing for money from the women. Yeah, it was not like this, people. It wasn't like this before. I've lived here most of my life, people, and rather than getting better, it's worse. It's worse. And then now it's like I go on like YouTube. I love watching videos. Yes, I do. And now it's like they have this new genre called the what do you call it now? The passport bros, where you have black men insult black women, and that they want to get a wife from overseas. So it's like, wait a minute, man. I mean, go out and marry who you want to marry. That's your business. My concern is that you're acting, both are acting, you have the men and the women acting like your enemies. People, they want you divided, and you're not seeing through the deception. You need to come together as a community and start healing. We need healing. You know, you marry who you want to marry, male or female. You do what you want to do. Do you? But when you go on social media and mock one another, it's shaming the group. We're already in a bad situation. They want you to be divided. They want you, I feel also, they want you to move overseas. They want to remove the money from America. And a good way get black people to want to move overseas. Get black people angry at each other. So hey, why stay here? I want to get a foreign a foreign woman or a foreign man or whatever. So it's going to destabilize America more because we have money. Even though we may think we got a little, but still, it adds up. And if you get us leaving for whatever reason, whether to find a spouse or you're fed up with America, you know, I think it's all a part of social engineering. And they want us to fight amongst ourselves and stop the fighting. Start noticing what's going on around you. You think our ancestors would think this is good behavior? Is what we're doing to one another good behavior? Is it showing a good example? Is it? People see, little children see. And they say, oh, okay, oh, this is the new flavor of the month. Okay, I'm going to like that flavor now. Don't you think that they're doing that with the LGBTQ community? They're pushing it in your face. They're pushing the passport bros. They're pushing all these narratives. They're pushing the Go Back to Africa movement. And I'm wondering now, why? And my answer is they want to, I mean, you do what you want to do. Follow your heart's desire. But I think some of the stuff that's going on is to destabilize and to pull the money out of the country to destabilize it. And I believe the Shinwar is going to invade the U.S. That's what I feel. That's my feelings. What's going to happen? That's what they're setting up, and they're using the Trump situation to also try to ignite a fighting. You know, I just say, stay indoors, people. Stay indoors. Don't go out and cause a problem, or, you know, because as we see with what happened on January 6th, what was that, 2 years ago or 3 years ago? That, yeah, 3 years ago, that um, you could have, they were trying to arrest people that were just in DC. They were a mile away from the Capitol, and they wanted to arrest people just because they were physically in the District of Columbia. They were desperate. They wanted to just, arrest certain people. And so they can do that to you. They can say, oh, that person is a fancy YouTuber. Oh, they're here in New York City. Oh, let's arrest him. Oh, well, he said something once, or she said something once on social media. Oh, I think that person is a potential, you know what? Let's just put them in custody. They're looking for an excuse to get you. Don't believe the hype. I think it's all social engineering. They want to try to press your buttons, especially Black America. Don't fall for it. Stay closer to your family, people. Stay closer. Stay closer to one another. Stay away from people with bad habits. Stay away. Stay at home. Read a book. Do some, do something to try to, stay away from this distraction. They're just looking to excuse to arrest some of us, and I don't want it to happen to anybody. Yeah, yeah, it's not safe. It's not safe. So let me just see what other comments were said. I was talking. Let's see. You'd be okay. Thank you for saying that I'll be safe. It's in all water. Okay, yeah. Yeah, best to clean your water. Okay. Okay. Okay, yes, they did it for the banana in the oh. Yeah. Banana tip. Yeah. Yeah, stay at home, people. Stay at home. Be safe. I can't I know it does get spooky. I'm a very sensitive person. I've always been sensitive. But to see what's happening now, um, it's what you call social engineering. I don't think it's what they call prophecy. I believe the Bible is a blueprint. It's a book of instructions to the initiates, and they read it and they say, okay, this is phase two, this is phase three, four, five, and so on, to reach their goals. And they want to implement the one world order, or one currency. But I don't think it's going to happen completely, because there are some countries um, that are cash based. They're that poor, and they don't have that type of infrastructure. You have a lot of peasantry, and honey, everything is cash, cash, cash. Even some places in Manhattan, we're in New York City, uptown, they don't use cards. They use cash, cash, cash. And so I think that's also why I want to leave, because I'd rather live in a place that is more cash based. Uh, I want something more indigenous, more um, less, how you say, less, oh, I don't, what do you say? Not so industrialized. I think I think there are going to be certain countries that's going to be hit the hardest, and it's going to affect us the most. But if you're born in a country where everybody's poor, and everybody's just trying, in survival mode, it's not going to phase them as detrimental as it would be in the US. Then people get violent if they can't get gasoline for the car or toilet paper. You have people who will fight for toilet paper. It's unreal. It's unreal. People. They take away your toilet paper, you're going to fight and kill somebody for toilet paper? it's unbelievable. We have to learn how to work with less, I see. I love luxuries. I mean, I love things that make things easier to live. But I'm thinking, hey, um, maybe I shouldn't get too comfortable and learn how to live with a little less. I feel that they want you to live like a ward of the state. It's another form of slavery, uh, and I believe the chinois is behind all this. A lot of it, I think, is the chinois. Yeah, that's what I feel, people. Um, I don't know what else to say, um, but I just wanted to share what was on my heart. Um, I feel this is like a new phase in my life. I feel that it's a new phase coming about, and I need to go within more, people. Sometimes the hardest thing to confront is yourself. Um, yeah, this whole thing is a distraction, but I think I need to get to know myself better. I need to, I purchase more books, and I want to explore more about myself. Uh, I want to get God's direction for my life. I feel that these things are happening for a reason, and by going within, I'm hoping that my Creator, or I call the benevolent one, will share some secrets about my life to as a guide of what to do next. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you all are interested in exploring to learn more about yourself too. And I wish you all well. Yeah. So let's pray for one another. Ask for God's faith. God, whether you call it God or your higher power, ask for favor. Ask for favor these days. Yeah. That's all that I want to say for now. And I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Um, yes, and if you wish to support this channel, you can do so by my PayPal Me account. To do so, on my channel Spirit Journey, on the banner of my channel on the right hand side, you will see my PayPal Me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt, and any amount would be greatly appreciated. And I thank you in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And peace and love to all who hear this live stream. And don't be afraid to write any comments below if you have any questions or things you would like to share as it pertains to the topics that we discuss. So take care and enjoy the rest of your your evening. Okay, take care and enjoy. Until next time, see you.